Okay, this RICO trial is crazy. These are the people who have been arrested and sent to jail before the trials even started. A juror was arrested and sent to jail.
The judge slaps a potential juror with jail time. Her offense, shooting video of courtroom proceedings.
A defense attorney was arrested and sent to jail.
Breaking news now at noon. A defense attorney with the YSL RICO case has been arrested. Officials say attorney Astasios Menetas was arrested this morning in the Fulton County courtroom.
Hell, even a court officer was arrested and sent to jail.
We've got some new developments tonight involving yet another twist in this ongoing YSL RICO case. We're talking about a Fulton County Sheriff's deputy arrested earlier today and accused of trying to smuggle contraband to a defendant in the case. This deputy, Akiba Stanley, in this mugshot here.
And the trial hadn't even started yet. I'm talking about the Young Thug criminal RICO trial in Georgia. Let's check it out. So we're talking about Grammy Award winning rapper Young Thug and his RICO trial in Georgia. Now, he comes from a poor Atlanta neighborhood. He grew up in a housing project and then made it to rap superstardom, having the #1 album in the country.
Rapper Young Thug, known for hits like Check. And for co-writing the Grammy-winning song, This Is America with Childish Gambino.
Yeah, this is America. Guns in my area.
So let's go back to May 2020 in Fulton County, where a grand jury handed down indictments to Young Thug and 26 other people under the state's RICO statute. Check it out.
Young Thug, whose real name is Jeffrey Lamar Williams, is one of 28 defendants charged in a sweeping 56-count indictment against the criminal street gang Young Slime Life, also known as YSL. The charges, ranging from conspiracy to violate the Georgia criminal racketing law, murder, armed robbery, and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, also named Sergio Kitchens, who performs under the name Gunna. As of Tuesday afternoon, the rap star had not yet surrendered to authorities.
My #1 focus is targeting gangs, and there's a reason for that. They are committing conservatively 75 to 80% of all of the violent crime that we are seeing within our community.
According to the indictment, YSL is a criminal street gang started in late 2012 in the Cleveland Avenue area of Atlanta. Prosecutors say Young Thug is a co-founder, and he and his affiliates have played a role in some of the city's most violent crimes.
Me and the mayor and the police chief have talked about the fact that Cleveland in our community is referred to as Bleveland.
Also named in the indictment is Jimmy Carlton Winfrey. He's serving a 20-year prison sentence after pleading guilty to firing shots at rapper Lil Wayne's tour buses as they traveled on I-285 in April of 2015.
Now, you heard the term RICO. Now, RICO stands for the Racketeering Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act. Here's a quick overview of the RICO law in Georgia.
There is no difference between an organization like the KKK, street gang, or the gang that was indicted in this current case. The only element that the prosecution would have to prove is that this gang is organized as a racketeering enterprise. And those are the key words there, enterprise. And basically all that is an organization, a group of people. It can be formal, it can be informal, as long as they share the common purpose of committing criminal activity. So a RICO enterprise could be a street gang, it could be the KKK, it could be the Coca-Cola company, as long as that group of people is promoting and carrying out criminal activity through a pattern of specific crime.
So now, after those indictments and people are looking at decades in prison, the defendants start flipping like fish. Check this out.
Last week, Sergio Kitchens, better known as rapper Gunna, took the first plea deal, followed by Walter Murphy, an alleged YSL co-founder. Then Wooney Lee, rapper Slime Life Shoddy, and Martinez Arnold, rap name Little Duke, cut deals. Now today, Quantavious Greer or rapper Unfunk entered a guilty plea. All 5 have been sentenced to between 9 and 10 years on probation. They will also have to testify at the YSL trial if attorneys on either side.
So now Young Thug is at trial. He's like, I'm going to go, even though I got all these people flipped, all these people are going to testify against me. It looks like I'm going to jail for a long time. That's not even the story of this trial. Then the madness happened, right? First, a courtroom deputy was arrested on insane charges of having a relationship with one of the defendants and a whole bunch of other crap. Check this out.
Akiba Stanley took an oath to serve and protect, but officials say her track record as an officer is now criminal. Her arrest warrants detail her having an inappropriate relationship with an inmate, visiting his cell, communicating with an inmate through Instagram, and trying to smuggle contraband to Christian Eppinger from one of his relatives. Eppinger is accused of shooting a veteran Atlanta police officer several times last year while he was being taken into custody. He's also a defendant in the YSL RICO case awaiting trial. Stanley's charges include a violation of oath of office, reckless conduct, and conspiracy to commit a felony.
Now, you thought that was crazy. Well, a defense attorney for Young Thug and his crew was arrested for possession of prescription drugs and attempting to toss a phone to allegedly another attorney, but missing and hitting a deputy upside the head. So they charged him with assault for that. Check this out.
And many of you know what is going on because it has been cycling through social media. So right now, the trial is still wrapped up in jury selection, but there have been quite a few hiccups. So just this morning, one of the attorneys was actually arrested in court. The defense lawyer faces charges including disruption of court proceedings and simple battery of an officer.
Now you thought that was crazy, but we're not halfway done. See, one of the defendants was caught passing Young Thug drugs in court. Here's the video.
All new tonight at 11, contraband in court. Atlanta rapper Young Thug is already facing a slew of RICO charges, but now there are new allegations against him and a fellow YSL defendant. Here's what happened. We got this video from court. Take a look at the part we highlighted here. Do you see this? Right there. According to court motions, Young Thug's fellow defendant Khalif Adams passed Percocet to Young Thug under the guise of a handshake right in front of the entire courtroom. Adams is serving a life sentence for murder.
Now, with all that, you'd be like, all right, that's enough, Nate. That's crazy. But wait, there's more. So a juror found herself sentenced to 3 days in jail for filming the court proceedings illegally in contempt of court. The judge had to call her out. Check this out.
All right, Juror 1004, good morning, madam.
Good morning.
Madam, just to recap, you were summoned as a juror on the 17th of March of this year to begin the jury selection process. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And during that particular process, do you recall, and let me back up just a second, because of conduct that occurred or alleged conduct that occurred on the 17th of March, you were served with a order to show cause. That was filed on the 20th of March of this year to appear on this date, the 3rd of April at 10 o'clock in courtroom 1C. You received a copy of that notice, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
All right. And that notice also gave you sufficient notice that as to why you should not be held in willful contempt for violating the court's admonitions against improper jury behavior, specifically live streaming the jury selection process on Friday, March the 17th of 2023. Do you recall that? I'm going to include that as a copy of the next court exhibit in order. That's your notice that we gave you. So you are at this point in time. Why shouldn't I hold you in willful contempt?
Okay, so I'm going to explain everything that happened that day on the 17th of March.
Okay, but before then, do you recall this court giving you the ad nauseum admonitions about acceptable behavior?
About having phones out?
Yes.
At the moment when we came in.
Didn't I tell you to turn your phone off?
It was, I'm going to be truthfully and very honest. When it was a lot going on, we had just come from different
Answer
floors.
my question first, and then you can explain it. Do you recall us telling you to turn off your cell phones?
Yes, sir.
I tell it multiple times for multiple reasons, and you decide you're going to just do what you wanted to do.
It's not
pull out your phone
doing what I wanted to do.
Well, you pulled out your phone and videotaped our proceedings, and that was in direct violation of this court's order. So I'm going to sentence you to 3 days of in jail, and that will otherwise satisfy your contempt.
The things are getting so petty that a lawyer for one of the defendants was ordered by the judge to buy lunch for everybody from a nearby strip club, and and was given the penalty of writing a 17-page essay or spending 20 days in jail for the crime of being late to court a couple of times. He's got to write a paper on being professional in court. I am not joking. It's literally 20 days in jail or write this paper. Listen to the judge explain it to him.
Next matter, Mr. Johnson. How are we doing on that paper? I mean, the importance of professionalism. Yours is due by the 28th of April. I'm just checking, I'm just clocking. So we on track? Well, your better half said she's not writing it for you either. Okay, well, just want to let you know that, okay? All right, so we're good? I'm sorry? Because that wasn't offered to you. You already asked me, could I pay the $1,000? I told you no. Well, I know you would, but that's not what's on the table. 28, yes, at noon. Or you do 20 days. It's 17-page paper on the importance of professionalism in the legal field and treating one's opponents with civility. Paper is to be published quality in APA format and at least 10 primary and 10 secondary sources. Means that we should be able to send it to the to either the Georgia any one of our law review or any other place that accepts publications, and it should be acceptable.
Now, one of the big issues of this trial is the use of rap lyrics as evidence, right? That seems to be the issue. Now, prosecutors say that Young Thug and his crew made a business of committing these violent crimes and then bragging about them on major records. Here are the allegations.
That's correct, Aisha. Many of the charges related to the indictment point to Young Thug's rap lyrics as well as social media posts as evidence. Now, Young Thug's songs and music videos were listed in great detail by Fulton County authorities. Lyrics such as, "I never killed anybody, but I got something to do with that body." The indictment also tied the rapper to the murder of Donovan Thomas. That's the leader of a rival gang, pointing to lyrics which state, "I killed his man in front of his mama." One of the people charged with his death was a member of Thug's YSL label. Now, using lyrics and social media posts could present a challenge for officials, and that's according to 11 Alive's legal expert. But District Attorney Bonnie Willis says her office can indeed use the music as evidence. Take a listen.
I believe in the First Amendment. It's one of our most precious rights. However, the First Amendment does not protect people from prosecutors using it as evidence if it is such.
Now, when I first heard this, I thought about that Key and Peele episode, Rap Confessions.
I killed Darnell, yeah, I shot him with my 9. I shot him 9 times, 9 p.m. on the dime. And by the way, it was November 9th.
That don't mean nothing. I got a vivid imagination. I couldn't have shot Darnell. I was at my cousin's birthday party. Red Lobster, November 9th.
At Red Lobster?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, I gotta tell you, Gunrag, I find that really hard to believe.
I got an alibi, birthday Red Lobster. When in reality, I shot Darnell like a mobster. It's a lie, anyone could tell this if you know about my allergy to all shellfish.
Just confess, Gunrag.
I confess that shellfish is the only thing that rhymes with tell this.
Now, some people have sounded the alarm and saying, oh my God, it's racist that they want to use rap lyrics as evidence of criminal activity. Here is Congressman Jamal Bowman. Remember the guy who pulled the fire alarm and, confessed to that crime? Well, he's now saying you should not be able to use rap lyrics as evidence of crimes.
All right, Congressman, I want to start with you. First, tell our viewers why you and Congressman Hank Johnson of Georgia, your fellow co-sponsor of this bill, why did you guys feel it was necessary to introduce this legislation on Capitol Hill at this moment?
because hip hop is free speech. You know, rap is free speech. Rap is poetry. It's literature. It's drama. It's storytelling. And it should not be criminalized. You know, I remember back in the day when the 2 Live Crew was under attack, when
Yes.
Ice-T was under attack, when NWA was under attack. And it seems like when we look at criminal cases, hip hop artists continue to be targeted. Hundreds of cases over the last several years have targeted the lyrics of hip hop artists. And we do not see the same thing with regard to other genres of music. And thank you for using the Johnny Cash example. There's a Fred Mercury example. There's a Marilyn Manson example. There's so many examples, and those aren't used.
Now, I got to admit, I'm not convinced by this argument. I think it's honestly a silly argument because first, all admissions are free speech, every single one. So just by claiming you sung it in a rap song doesn't mean it gets some type of crazy special protection, right? All confessions are exercises of free speech. Matter of fact, there's a constitutional limit that says you can't be compelled to give a confession. So all confessions are exercises of free speech. So we just don't limit them to, hey, if you said it in a rap song, it's free speech. No. All confessions are free speech. Now, the difference between, let's say, acting and confessing are two different things. So let me give you an example. Let's say I was acting on a TV show as a gangster who kills people. Well, then if I'm charged with murdering someone, they wouldn't be able to go and say, well, just because he acted as a gangster on his show means that he must have killed this person. That's illegal in every jurisdiction. It's called propensity evidence. You can't use the fact that I acted this way in a make-believe TV series to say that I actually did the crime. That's ridiculous. No court in America would allow you to do that. But here we're talking about something very, very, very different. We're talking about crimes that are specifically laid out in lyrics. So if there are details that aren't publicly known, that someone is confessing to in some type of rap lyric that aligns with the facts and evidence of a particular crime, then that may be able to be used to show that, hey, this person is describing this event, just like with any other confession, right? Now, this isn't only narrow to, for instance, rap lyrics. This has happened before. There's a Dutch crime writer who actually killed his wife and then wrote a book about 7 ways to kill your wife. And then authorities read the book and was like, oh, this is how he killed his wife, and found out that, hey, this guy actually killed his wife. So rap isn't the only medium this is limited to. Now, I know I'm crazy, but just because you confess to something on a rap song doesn't mean you should have some immunity, right? If that's the case, then every defense attorney would be like, well, whenever you confess, just make sure you rap it and you'll be good, right? Rap everything you say and you'll be fine. So I think what they're advocating for is insane. But what I do think they need to do is just narrow it to say, if you can prove or you can show, a prosecutor can show that these particular lyrics align with these particular facts in such a way that a reasonable person or a reasonable juror can say that this person is talking about this event, then you're fine. Just like the Key and Peele, right? You can't describe the event any better than that, but that's an extreme situation. But you're looking at something similar to that. And I think that protection would be good enough to say, is this person really talking about this particular crime, or is this person playing a role? Now, this is also a test run by the Fulton County DA on another RICO prosecution, Donald Trump RICO charges that are happening in Georgia under the same district attorney. Now, I never thought I would be comparing a former U.S. president to an alleged street gang under criminal charges, but it is what it is. It allows Fani Willis to kind of test her theory and test the law in another famous public trial that's going on in Atlanta. So, we'll see how it all works out. Now, for those of you who know, Donald Trump is charged with RICO violations in terms of trying to overturn Georgia's election results. So that's his RICO charges, where on one end for Young Thug, he's got, murder and racketeering. And Trump's charge is about trying to overturn the election results in Georgia. So, they're saying that there are two criminal organizations. In Young Thug, it's the Blood Street Gang, but in Trump, it's his campaign and his campaign's willingness to overturn the election. And I think there's some interesting parallels here, because in the Trump case, people are flipping like fish too. And then Young Thug, people are flipping like fish. So in both cases, you have some similarities, but I'd like to see what kind of happens, because just because people are flipped doesn't mean Young Thug's going to be convicted and doesn't mean Donald Trump's going to be convicted. But let me know what you feel about this whole madness in the comment section, because I think this case is crazy. I think this case is crazy. And, right now I'm just waiting to see when the judge goes to jail, because it seems like everybody in this case has got to go to jail before things like calm down. So I think they're in like day 4 when I'm recording this video. But if there's any more updates, I'll definitely let you know. And what do you feel about using rap lyrics in criminal prosecutions? Because I think under the narrow circumstances where if you can prove that, hey, these lyrics are discussing this event and it's pretty clear, I think yes. But I think if it's just like, hey, this guy is a rapper and that means he's a bad guy, I think no. I think you can't show a propensity argument. But if you can show that this is evidence, or this is an actual confession, then I think you're good. But again, let me know in the comment section where I'm wrong. As always, my name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'll see you next one. Peace.